Howdy everyone, I'm Station Master Jonathan Little here today with another episode of Weekly Poker Hand. This hand comes from High Stakes Poker. Make sure you watch that at PokerGo. Here we have a hand where Rick Salomon, who's best known for being a promiscuous actor in films that he produces, raises it up to $5,000 playing 400, 800 no-limit Texas Hold'em from the low jack seat. This is a big raise, 8 big blinds. However, if there's ever a time in the history of no-limit Texas style, the Cadillac of poker, to raise it up to 8 big blinds, it's when you are playing 500 big blinds deep like the players are here. Folds around to Tom Dwan in the cutoff with 8-6 suited. Tom Dwan loves to play hands with suited connectors, and he's a bit of a station. You think he's going to go to the station today? We'll find out together. He likes to call with the 8-6 suited in the cutoff. They see the flop heads up. It comes King of spades, 6 of spades, 5 of clubs, giving Tom Dwan middle pair, 8 kicker. What more do you want in life when Rick Salomon makes a 2/3 pot size bet? He bet 7,000 into the 12,000 pot. There's really no other option here besides to call. When you do call here, make sure you get your ticket because we're heading to the station. Also make sure you get your phone just in case you have to call the cage to get more chips. By the way, do you have a smartphone? If you have a smartphone, make sure you check out the Poker Coaching app. We have interactive hand quizzes there, lots and lots of courses, videos, GTO preflop charts, and a whole lot more. Check that out at pokercoaching.com/app. Find the call. Let's move on to the next street. This is an easy spot. Turn is the 4 of spades. Rick Salomon continues betting. What do we do here? We have the middle pair, but we picked up a gut shot. There are 3 spades on board, though. This is a scenario where I think it's dicey, but unless you know your opponent's range is just really strong with like just good top pairs and better, I think you have to call. Good odds in position equals a whole lot of calls. So, Tom Dwan has his train station cap on, he calls. River is the 2 of hearts, board is king, 6, 5, 4, 2. 3 spades available, and now Rick goes for the 40% pot bet. Yuck, yuck, yuck. What do you do in this scenario if you were in Tom Dwan's shoes? You keep your station cap on and find the call? Do you take your cap on? Take your cap on. Do you take your cap off and go home? I'd be so depressed if I had to fold here. Would you take your cap off and leave? Or would you get ready to put in the big raise? What do you do? I want you to pause the video and type in the comment section below if you go for the fold, the call, or a big raise. All right, did you do it? Good. Do you hear the sirens going off outside and the hammering banging all around me? It's because this is a bad spot. The sirens are trying to tell you, fold, 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 fold. But I'm sure Tom Dwan realizes in the scenario, if Rick is only going for a value bet with something like 2 pair and better hands, as many players will do, and there's a 4 straight, 3 flush on the board, then this is actually a pretty reasonable hand to call with because you block the 8-7 and, you block random 2 pairs, right? Now, the problem, though, is that Rick Salomon may be the type of player who value bets very linearly here. A lot of people will take a hand like pocket jacks and just bet it on all 3 streets because they don't know what else to do with it. Some people will value bet any king here. If we know Rick Salomon plays hands like king 7 suited preflop, and he'll bet the flop and bet the turn and bet the river in this scenario, especially using this kind of small size, then obviously this 8-6 is a fold. Essentially, as your opponent's range is proportionally more value hands, you should be more inclined to fold your junky bluff catchers like this 8-6. But if your opponent's range is something like literally straights and better, then this 8-6 actually becomes a pretty reasonable call, assuming your opponent is capable of bluffing using this bet size. Now, here's something else you want to be aware of, especially if you're playing against weak, straightforward players. Some people, when they bet small, like 40% pot like Rick does in this scenario, literally have only value hands. And when they bet bigger, that's when they start having value hands and bluffs. If Rick's range here is literally all value hands, and obviously Tom Dwan, Station Master, has to fold away this 8-6. But if Rick does have an adequate amount of bluffs, or if he's just getting loosey-goosey and having a sandwich right here, this is a spot where I think calling becomes pretty reasonable. So you really can go either way. Tom Dwan has a station hat on, though. You know he's not folding. He calls. And he... loses. Rick Salomon has the king-queen for top pair marginal kicker on the 4 straight 3 flush board. And somehow wins $88,000. Well, wins the $88,000 pot. Only about 40 of it was his. Ah, goodness gracious. Tough hand for Tom Dwan. I don't actually hate the way he played it unless he makes an exploitative fold against Rick on the river. Sometimes the train just leaves without you. That's going to be it for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Weekly Poker Hand. If you did, do me a quick favor. Click the like and subscribe buttons below. That'll go a long way to helping the YouTube station master know that you enjoy this content. Thanks again. Good luck. And I'll talk to you next time. Hello. Do I have your attention? Good. You know I love to give away lots of free strategy advice here on my YouTube channel, so do me a quick favor. Can you click the subscribe button right here and right down here below? Thank you. See you in the next video.